Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
And you have to those who don't know.
This is Master Ace. You are not rocking with the best. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio. Let's go.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio. Breaking Records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't know, butt strange music, dude.
Check it out. Breaking Records Radio in your place one time for your motherfucking mind. You know what it is. Your man Maloney in the place to be. And I got some Bell City representatives up in the place with me. You know what it is. So we got to shout them out. You know what I'm saying? They got the bow ties on the trash bags. And if you don't know what that is, you better ask, man. We got the upper class white trash homies in the place to be. Workshop regime, if you really want to be literal, because we got Win in the place. But he's standing on the sidelines right now. He says A.
Just went in the Peanut Gallery, but the Workshop boys are out here. UCW.
Yeah.
Hey. Workshop boys are out here. UCWT, man. Upper class white trash. Freezes Christ, man. Scot free.
Freezes Christ. I always loved that fucking nickname.
It was the best thing that ever happened to the evolution of being Scot free and giving it to the boys. Because I have a major problem with rappers who name themselves. Like I feel like it's the scene from Step Brothers every time. You gotta call me Dragon. I'm like, no, I don't. You don't speak to your mother like that. You know, no one calls you that.
Yo, do you know what's so funny? We've had this conversation
it's one of
on
my
the No
biggest
Condom
pet
podcast.
peeves.
But do you know what's funny? It's actually the same with me. That's why my original rap name was Maloney.
Because you didn't want to force it? That was your nickname.
As a childhood, it was like MC Free and GT Killer and Nugs. And there was like all these fucked up names.
I remember Nugs.
Yeah, you remember Nugs? Yeah, that was like that was the first. When I first came to high school, I was Nugs.
I don't know why.
But it's like, yo, no one else calls me Nugs.
No,
I call myself Nugs.
Yeah, you can't.
But do you know what everyone called me?
Maloney.
Yeah. So that's why that became my rap name.
And
for
that's
real.
the way it should be. Like, legit, Scot free came from my pops because I used to cause shit.
Yeah.
And I'd run home and change in my pajamas. So when the cops came to my house, they'd be like, what do you mean? I've been here sleeping the whole time. And my dad would be having a beer, smoking on the couch, like,
Scot free.
A little Scotty free again, eh? And I'm like, yeah, yo, he never dimed on me once.
I love that.
Yeah, it was fun.
I love that.
Yeah, and
that's
So
amazing.
it kind of... Man, literally... Like, I came by it honest, and then you give it to the boys, and then it's like, Scot free became, Freezer was the first one, Scot Freeze, and then Freezer, and then he called me Skeezer Bag forever and ever. Like, for the whole summer.
In my phone, it was Skeezer Bag.
Well, I was out
like,
slutting when I was out whoring. He was like, Skeezer Bag. And then...
Even when I do say it nowadays, they're like, what the fuck did you just call him? Skeezer Bag.
Yeah, like, Scotty Freezes, and then Freezes
people might need a cleansing of the mix-up, though, because...
I'm Scot free. Scot free.
Because your galdam though is his sister.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, no,
I can understand why people might not understand him calling you Skeezer Bag. Is all I'm saying.
Well, no, he called me Skeezer Bag before.
Like, before.
I wifed up his sister. I didn't run her ragged like I did the rest of them. You know what I mean? Like. Facts. Here we are, like 4 years later, and we live together and raise our daughters together.
Now, here's one thing I gotta wonder though. As a rap group, do you guys ever see differences because you are, in fact, boo-booed
That's
up
why we won't battle.
with
one of that, and also like it puts me in a weird position when they squab. Because I was going to be like, yo, I'll cuff you right in the face.
And then it makes you feel away.
And I can't, no, like, no.
And I was like, yo, this is regular family shit. Leave this alone.
I said that to say this, that he's not going to, but
Not till you leave.
But if she leaves with me. So, but like, am I supposed to react that this guy's talking wild, but to his sister? You know what I mean?
I know,
he's
that's
not
crazy.
Gonna do it, but he's talking wild. Like, you guys
That's
got lit
crazy.
the other night after we went live on Facebook, and they had a whole rolling match. Rachel's trying to choke him out. She's throwing punches, trying to scratch his face. I'm like,
You're like, who do I stand up for?
Look, once Isaac gets mad and fucking rolls on top of you and has full mount, I gotta be like, hey, I'm gonna tap him. I'm gonna be like, it's time to give up. Like, but I
think that started with cannabis bars. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even lying, bro. She just went off the handle.
So like,
For the people listening, Isaac's favorite battle of all time is Cannabis vs. Disaster.
Yeah,
for the
right.
fire that Cannabis spit. Because if you came out your mother filthy, covered in hummus.
Your mother's booty hole.
Your booty hole.
All covered in hummus. All
wiggly.
filthy.
All filthy.
All filthy.
Yo,
Gravity is not an attraction, it's a repulsion.
You know what? While the rest of the world hates on cannabis, I will say,
I want to see
cannabis,
first matchup.
there was a period of your life where you were the best rapper of all
that's
time.
True. When like before there was lyricists, and you're like, what? I blind the optic fibers in anybody's iris, and you're like, woo!
At 1,000 degrees Celsius, I make MCs melt. Fuck a record label, I appear courtesy of myself. Yo, Iacom, bro, Iacom.
What, Nate?
I appear courtesy of myself.
That's where it came from. Was it cannabis?
I took it from a cannabis bar.
Yo, come on now.
Iacom, fam.
Come on now.
Fuck a record label, I appear.
That acronym is the best acronym to come for the city. I always thought it was a great one. Like, you personally should have an Iacom tattoo because it has become the credo of your life. Look at you now. I appear here courtesy of my fucking self.
That's facts.
You know, like you've never changed.
And
your,
you know
your
what?
credo
Even when rebranding and changing the brand, Iacom has always stayed something I can stand behind.
It's because everyone knows what it means, and we truly
you appear
believe in
courtesy of yourself.
Everywhere
you go, that's what you do.
I want an Iacom tattoo because I'll cover my body with scribbles. So I don't give a fuck.
We should just make like a Bell City mixtape called Iacom, and everyone who's actually good rap on it.
Like, and they all have to record their own verse at their own house. I appear courtesy of myself. We'll get one mix, but you gotta...
Wow! And you only get one mix opportunity!
You send in your waves, and you get... Cool, if it's you that mixes it down, or Innis, or whoever...
You get the one
You get one. You send me one take, bro. I appear courtesy of myself. Give me a 24 or a 32
As long as we call the mixtape Lip, I think it's done in honor. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout outs to Lipinski though. But we're not.
Bless his heart, man.
Hey, you know what? We're not here for Lip right now though, but we love you, Lip. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you're always with us.
But we here for the white trash. You know what I'm saying? The upper class white trash.
Not your top with a bow tie, baby.
Yo, dude. One thing I want to ask you guys though, because I can't lie, I looked at your logo a couple times.
It looks like a bell.
No, before I really took in like what it actually was, I was just felt like I was playing Pac-Man and was seeing one of the ghosts or something.
Well, that's
and then it literally took one time because we linked shirts, and one time I put it on, and it's a size too small for me, so a lot I use it as an undershirt for the tight white collar underneath. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Like old Foot Locker joints.
The tight underneath white collar, right? So when I done that. One time I put it on and I look at the logo and I'm like, oh, it's a garbage bag with a bow. Like, that's kind of cute.
Upper class and white trash, bro. And that came from my gramps. He used to call our family that all the time. His slogan was, we got a fridge with gray poop on, but we copped it with a coupon. Like, you know, and that's not a joke. That come legit from my dad's dad.
Say word.
He's like, we're trash bags. We get drunk, we eat French fries. You know
that's Brantford though, and that's why I love your guys' shit. Like, and when I did the So Brantford, I'm like, yo, shout out to upper class white trash. Because you guys represent what Brantford is. Brantford is literally the ghetto of Ontario. People don't realize it, but it is.
People
because people who live in other
come to my city and get shot or die from the cocaine or
people. That's the funny thing about Brantford is like we are the armpit of Ontario.
Well, we're neck and neck with the res, bro, which is a whole different country. You end up on the wrong side of third line in your powwow music. You better be wondering what the fuck did I do?
Yeah, you don't want to end up on the wrong side of the res. People come to Brantford and start families and homes there. They're like, oh. Well, it only takes me an extra 20 minutes to get to work in Toronto.
It's the new commuter city. No, it's not.
No, bro. It's not. It is the armpit. Ever since Massey Fergus closed in the fucking 70s, Brantford has been a retail to support retail city where the patrons who get paid a little bit more than the people who don't are the people who support the bar and the club scene. And that's what Brantford has been since as long as I grew up to what I can see now.
We are a very big, small city. If you go to any town with 15,000 people and there's 2 bars that people drink at and they fight and fuck the same women, it's Brantford. There's just 150,000 of us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the biggest small town I've ever been.
No, it's 100% facts, though. And unless you know certain crews or you know certain groups of people, you might end up at Frankie's or you might end up at some other spot near fucking Assumption or something. But unless you know diverse crews...
The only time you put aside outside inner small city beef is when outsiders come in.
Yeah.
The same guy I wanted to.
I hate this motherfucker, but you're from Brampton.
Yeah, so cool. We're gonna get together to rinse these guys.
Yep.
We'll squab again tomorrow.
Yo, it's facts,
you
bro.
Get over it. You be like, it's fucked up.
No, Brantford is, and do you know what is one thing me and Lipinski always disagreed on? Lipinski would always get mad when I said Brantford is the ghetto of Ontario. And this is before I moved. But I always told him, I'm like, this is why I'm moving. I told him, I will move by 25, and I told him this is why. And we had so many arguments about it, and that's what he always says. He's like, you're crazy for thinking that. I'm like, no, bro, you're crazy for not thinking it, because what you're not looking at is statistics. What makes a ghetto of a city? What makes Rexdale Rexdale? You know what I'm saying? What made Regent Park before they tore it down? What made anything else? What makes it is the economical and social demographic of the way the city is built and what it is charged to live in certain areas where there is zero to none opportunity.
That there's a chess game.
That's
going
what
on.
Brantford is, and that's why I said it. So Brantford, unless you got factory jobs, you basically growing up retail and you live poor. However I worded it, that's basically the facts of the city.
No, and that's what it is. And that's why, like, I'm proud of the factory job I have right now. I'm Steel Union 3505.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
I won't make less than $60,000 a year for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That.
You know what? I'm still making less than $60,000 a year, so all respect to you, my G. No disrespect. But what I'm saying is, from a people point of mind, like, there's people who were great creatives, like Lipinski, and no disrespect to him, beyond the grave. I love my man. But what I'm saying is, it's that type of ideology. Like, I wish he could have came and tried to make a jump for himself.
Because I didn't want to say that. You're saying you can't believe he doesn't understand it. But I can't believe he doesn't understand it being a victim of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You are within the problem that I'm talking about. And tell me that you can't.
And you don't want to look outside of it. And he was a smart dude.
He was a smart dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, people's comfort level cuts off at a line as to where the comfort when it comes to realizing the truth of looking at the planet.
Denial is one of your strongest emotions, bro.
It is. It's the worst.
Facts.
It's the worst. But you know what? Denial also gets you through your roughest times internally too, right? When you're dealing with some shit you can't talk to no one about, your girl, nobody.
You have to have
your denial is what helps get you through it.
You're saying that as a man that has healthy processes, because as someone who internalizes their grief that way and doesn't have the ability to work their way through it in their head until they're ready
separate
to
it,
it ends up destroying you.
It's true.
Those are the people that get cancer at 20 years old because they've internalized this horrible thing that they don't know how to externalize. Like,
it's all outlook, bro. At the end of the day. It is all outlook. But you know what? We getting way off topic. So you know what we're going to do? Hold up 1 second. When I say work, y'all say shop, all right? Work, shop, work, shop. All right, we back in the place to be. You know what I mean? We got the workshop regime, a.k.a. upper class white trash, a.k.a. I might have smacked your mother's ass when I was at Brando's last weekend, but he was checking anyways. She covered the tab. But we here.
I might have scrapped your stepfather.
Yo, I love Brantford, bro. I love Brantford.
I fucking love Brantford.
No,
man.
just people don't understand Brantford.
Never until this year did I not love it. This year gave me a different flavor.
No, you know what?
It's becoming a little wild, wild west more than I need it, man.
I've spent a lot of years hating Brantford, and actually at this point, I have more clarity than I've ever had. Like, I love Brantford. Brantford made me.
Because you're away from
Would I suggest people to move there? Fuck no. You want to raise a kid there? Fuck no, I'll take my chances in Toronto, fam.
My daughter lives in St. George. Man.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't. No, I don't blame you because it is what it is. But you know what? It builds character.
It's made me the man I am, and I'm pretty happy where I ended up. So.
Might make you a piece of shit for some good chunks of years of your life, but do you know what I always say?
But then you shine it up, and you end up as an upper class white trash.
Exactly.
A trash bag with a bow tie.
And that's what I said in the fucking verse. That's the shout out to upper class white trash. Because where we come from, that's what we all are.
It's what we are, man.
It is. We are 100%. And if you're not, then you're kind of funny style. Like the dudes who weren't upper class white trash who grew up in Brantford, like when you're too preppy, like you're kind of whack, fam.
Or the surfer guys always laughed at. I'm like, bro,
where are you surfing at?
Bro, we're landlocked. You got thong sandals on and board shorts. Like, we're going to fifth period. What the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, and that shit. It's funny me saying that as a long-haired white guy that looks like an Australian surfer.
No, but it's facts.
But like that dude.
Those are the dudes who when at the club it goes off, they're wild when it's like, I've been on the run, my shadow is a tongue.
And they start
California,
who's got the
here
White
we
Claw?
come.
Everyone, like, it gets so bad. Or like, bro, anyone with a Weezer t-shirt or
Xbox, let the hair down.
and like with a hey ho, let's go.
Weezer
Ramones
t-shirt.
I'm like, man,
this guy
like,
says, yo,
shut
I look
up,
like
you're
an
not a-
Australian
Yo,
surfer.
Cotton Eye Joe coming on.
bro, I get down Cotton Eye Joe still.
No!
Come
Where
on
you
now.
come down? Where did you
no,
go?
Only at a Buck and Doe.
I'm coming down to bag that ass. up.
only at
You
a-
catch me twerking. I'd be up in a place like fucking a city girl. Like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, super bocce man.
Yeah, mad body movement. fam. Just mad body movements. Yo, you grow up in Brantford
I
as
know,
a
I
dude,
know.
you doing body movements, even whether you agree or not.
No,
Nah, bro, you try going to Jane and Finch. I'd be like, yo, can I get a banana? Man's be like, it's yellow fruit. I'm gay for asking for a banana.
that's
I'm
jail code.
telling you.
You're not gay. You're a fish, bro. Like it's.
It's yellow fruit, fam.
That's all it is. Like,
I'm telling you, man.
No, I'm saying,
Brantford to make you a faggot somewhere in the world. That's all I'm saying.
No, never die.
no, man.
It
you're
will.
not- no, it's not. That's not bocce man.
It might be
You're
where you
just a
least
fish.
expect it,
You're
but
just
Brantford
a
to make you
fish.
gay
Tell
somewhere.
me, watch Winston run. He just banged his head on the wall. He's wilding so hard. Like that's it. That's what it
Because
is.
he knows it's a fact.
No, that's fish game,
he's
bro.
like-
You're not.
Bocce man business.
Deep
What's your
inside.
favorite milkshake from Fast Eddie's?
Strawberry. All the way.
Yellow fruit? He wants to say banana so bad.
No,
He's
I
like,
don't.
no.
I don't really drink milk. I don't really like sweet.
Oh, really?
Like I eat chewy candy.
Man, their
That's
banana
why
milkshake's bomb, and
guy
I
don't
ain't
even
saying
drink
yellow
pop or
fruit.
nothing.
Alright, so
No,
that's all
I
I'm
don't
saying.
drink pop. Like I haven't had
I
pop
agree.
since I was
Pop
like
is
12.
whack.
I
Pop
haven't
is
had
trash.
pop since I was like
Why
12.
did I
like,
drink
for most
water?
of my life,
Water
I
or
drink pop.
vodka?
There you go.
Yeah.
I drink gin.
I
I
survive
drink
off
water
beer,
and vodka
man.
pretty much. You like gin, eh? You're a gin dude?
Gin and tonic. Fucking
G&T's all day. Give me a double gin, double lime. Let's go.
no, see, I like a
I'm pretty
Caesar.
sure we're gonna walk in there and get a double gin
All
and
right.
tonic. Like,
But yo, we got the dudes, upper class
so
white
what we're
trash,
here
in the
for,
place to be. Let's really get into this. We're treating this like a podcast. This is an interview,
No,
my
dig
G's.
in, dig in.
But you know what? So one thing I've always wanted is Scot Free, my G,
Yep.
is so you're always a vet. When I was coming up in Bell City, I was always like, yo, Scot Free's one of them dudes. You're really the only lyrical dude before me who I felt was any match to me.
Fair enough. I
Everyone
appreciate
else
that.
beforehand, I was like, cool, you laid down groundwork, but I'm better.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to the other dudes who might
No,
take
no, no,
offense
but-
to this.
and that-
but, yeah, you were that dude. You know what I mean? I remember when you came
But
out and
that-
seen
my-
us at
At a pool
down
house.
with Webster.
Yeah, at the
Jackhammers.
Jackhammers.
When that was the
Yeah,
place, you know
yeah.
what I mean? We got pictures from that night, you know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
remember you tossing water on the crowd. You're like, that's the first time I had real, like, crazy crowd interaction where I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
standing on the speaker box and splashing
Yeah.
water on people and, like, really,
was some lit
being
shit.
out there. Like, and I remember.
I was really proud that you were there. And I've always regarded and held you in a regard as a high MC when it comes to Bell City.
I respect that. I appreciate it.
And to go forward from that, you guys, you've been doing your shit. You guys really been doing a lot on the battle
but,
scene
like,
this year.
for you to hold me in that regard for that long, it's about time I had something that people could understand.
That's
why
the
you
one
held
thing.
Me.
No,
That's why-
yeah,
that,
no,
that,
yeah.
That why you hold me like that.
I
Like,
got
you
to a
respect an
point.
Opinion. So
Yeah.
For them to say, why does this guy have an opinion like that
Yeah.
of these guys? So it's about time that people really saw, like, okay, this is why this is what it is.
Exactly. And that's
And-
exactly what I'm getting at. Because it got to a point where I don't think you were on my Perfect Balance album, were you?
No,
That's probably the first project you
No,
weren't on for
yeah.
like damn near 4 or 5
and
projects.
Like that's what I mean. Maybe that's why that was the one that had my least attention after you telling me how important that was. It was the one that got the most after the first. But I remember all these little baby steps with us working. I remember coming to buy
'Cause
nickel
you were on
bags
them
off
shits.
you
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like handling business like little baby. I needed
Yeah.
one spliff to go to work with. And
Yeah,
come to
you'd be
see
chilling,
you.
and I'd just
And
be
then-
like, yo, get me out of work for an hour.
Yeah.
So I'd be chilling, you know what I mean? We'd
Right.
just be bunning, fucking talking hip-hop shit, you know what I'm saying?
And then kick around the free verses that we had in our head, or like developing punches. Or I loved even when we did. I remember the Visso show in Hess Village, and we did it. That was when we did Bottom of the Bottle for the
Yeah,
first time.
yeah.
And all
Yeah, I
that
remember
shit with
that.
it.
I remember
And then
that.
we were
You were
outside.
singing
And you're
with
like,
us.
"Yo, peep this new verse," and you spit it to
I
me,
remember
and I went. Nice interior rhyme and nice whatever, and you're like, bro, those are the two things that I learned, and I'm glad that you put those in. Whatever the two things I called out, you're
And
like,
do you know
I
what
knew-
inspired that verse was listening to the Prime album. Because how
Yeah,
unorthodox
yeah.
Royce was.
Royce is very.
But that was the one thing you said. You're like, yo, I really respect this shit. And see, I don't forget that shit because you're my OG, bro. I respect that shit.
Royce is
you know
like
what I'm saying?
lyrical.
But you were like,
Redman.
yo. One
Their
thing I
patterns
noticed
are
about
all
you over
over
the
messy.
years is you have a comfortable pocket, and you're like, you really stepped out of it on this, but you still kept it lyrical, and I respect that. And that's one thing. Like that was one of the highest regards lyrically to me I've ever held.
Yo, I didn't know-
Still,
I
so
like-
I'm surprised you remember it.
No, man,
but it's funny because
it's funny that to be held in high regard. Like I'm sure you've had that moment where someone holds you in.
Oh,
like, this
yeah,
thing.
bro.
So it's a weird thing to hear you, one of the guys that I respect, say that I'm on a pedestal in your mind, even on whatever regard it is. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, like. You and I came up in the exact same city, the exact same way, and
Yeah.
there might be 5 years difference between us, but the hip hop climate wasn't that different.
Yeah.
And your knowledge proved that anything that I experienced that you didn't, you researched harder than I did even living through it, which is one of the reasons that I bow down hip hop knowledge to you, bro. You are KRS-One of Canada. I'm telling you right now.
Hey.
Like I challenge that to
That's
anybody.
respect.
Tell me someone with
respect.
more hip hop knowledge that'll pull out an Ed OG.
oh, can we just listen to the MC right now?
Yeah,
though?
like you're like that'll pull out an Ed OG B side or like a you know what I mean. Who did we just talk about? That you were just saying Slaughter Rico, and you're like
shit,
yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that you can pull that shit out in an argument with OGs and they go. Who? And you go, what? Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, you are a total student of the game.
I'm a fucking rap nerd, bro.
so
That's
for
why
you-
at the end of the day, I don't care if I rap better
we've had
than
those
anyone.
conversations, too.
That's not where I see my money being
No,
made, bro.
and,
You
like,
know what I mean? I just,
I
at
don't
this
see
point, I
making
do
money
it for
on
the
rap,
love.
bro.
I
If
just do
end
it for
up
the
in
love.
Chapters in the storybook of Maloney telling hip hop.
Yeah.
If I end up with a 1-2 page in a middle chapter, then I've totally done my job. Yo, like, you know what I mean? Like you are like the way that Shad the MC did that new fucking hip hop documentary.
That
Well,
shit was so dope.
was so well
You know,
done.
I was kind of cheesed. I'm
I
not gonna
believe
lie.
he's
I'd be like,
from
yo,
London, bro.
Shad, you
He's
gotta
from-
relax.
he's from
I've been doing
London,
this
bro.
for 5 years.
Like-
I should have made hip hop evolution,
that guy
right?
scuffed your Tim.
Yeah,
a little bit
relax.
with that one. Like,
Yeah, he
I'm
did.
saying-
Yeah, I was a little mad, but you know what? I love Shad,
Yeah,
so it's
me
alright.
too, and he did
But I was a
great,
little
he
mad.
did a great job of executing it. But I'm saying I can see you
I
in
was a
that
little
same
mad.
light. That you know, a respected MC.
That's what
and
I am, man. I'm a
respected
rap
intellect
nerd.
That's
End
gonna
of the
be out
day.
here like, and to really tell the story of hip hop. I would love for you to do the same thing in Canada.
You know what? I would love
You
people
go talk
to
to-
give me that opportunity.
Right,
You know what
so
the
you make
problem
it
is?
happen, bro. You
Since
know
I
it
moved here, all
make
I've
it
wanted to
happen.
do is build the
Message
understanding
agent,
and
yeah.
knowledge of Toronto hip hop. But a
Message
lot of the
Red
dudes
One.
who grew up in it,
Message,
they don't want to talk about it.
No, but you need to. So,
That's
so
the
you
problem.
Have, it's the compliment sandwich. Come in with, bro, there's not a Canadian hip hop Hall of Fame that you're going to be inducted into, but you are going to be on the streets if you do this interview. You come in with the compliment sandwich.
Well, my
and you
ultimate
go
goal-
Red One, Snow, Ghetto Concept, and like all these things, and you're
So,
like, let's build what
What I
Toronto-
have,
like, what Canada
I do
hip-hop
have an
was.
ultimate goal, which kind of inspired me wanting to do media, right? But I don't want to keep talking about myself because this is your guys' interview. But I will get this point off quick. But basically, through doing hip hop media, one thing I wanted to do is like, opposed to just trying to get big name interviews and this and that. And like me as a rap nerd, sure, yeah, I love interviewing this dude and this dude because I'm a fan.
Your Rockness interview.
And I
is very well
hit
done.
you from a fan perspective. Did you
Yeah,
peep the new
yeah.
one though?
The
new
second part? When was
the
that?
45-minute one.
No, I don't.
So the old one's only 10 minutes. This new one, yo, we got to some shit, fam. But
Best voice in hip hop, top 5 voice in hip hop.
Yeah, he does,
Rockness.
he does,
Top 5
100%.
Charlie Tuna's up there.
But
Top
you know
5.
what? That's my thing. I'm just a rap nerd at the end of the day, right? So I can do the media shit well. That's where I see me living.
I can see you out here.
You know what I mean? That's where I see me progressing and living. Because, you know, I can see the brand and I can see when I put certain amounts of effort in on a monthly basis, I can see direct results through analytics, how much is paying me. You know what I mean? When I work hard, I get paid $100 a month. If I don't work hard, then I don't get paid $100 until 2, 3, 4 months. You know what I mean? But it's all on how hard I work and what I try to do. But that at the end of the day, I'm just like the rest of y'all.
No, but
I came into this shit a rapper. And I want y'all to respect my bars.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. And that's the hardest thing to come to terms
right.
to.
So
is
why
that
did-
you're meant for something that you're
Why
that
do you
don't
why
want.
do you got us in the studio today?
Why do I got y'all here? Because y'all about to do this double-decker battle right now. Y'all about to go 2-on-2 from two dudes that flew in from the fucking USA.
Yeah, Tennessee and
And
Arkansas. Shout to Young NASA. Shout to Ted, the Ego Destroyer. No one calls you that. You don't speak to your
No
mother
one
in
calls
that.
you that in real life. No one calls you that in real life.
bet
Stop
you-
this.
You don't kiss your daughter with that mouth.
You
better
don't
mind
kiss your
yourself.
daughter with
Yo,
that mouth.
You're in the neighbor's yard, man. Keep your bark collars on maximum and just know the holes are already dug. You seen the video.
Not
Hey.
the fucking top with a bow tie.
Like,
Get
Ain't
in
no
the
grave
bag.
can hold this body down. Ain't no grave can hold this body down.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? But yo, we got the motherfuckers in the place right now. We
hey,
got upper class white trash, aka, to be honest with you, we don't even have upper class white trash in the place to be. We have the workshop regime in the place
Workshop.
to be.
Let's go.
Workshop.
And he ain't stepping in, so we gonna pan the camera really unprofessionally at
Check out
Just
the one in
Went
the
real
one
quick.
of a kind sweater.
We
Still.
have a clean cut and sober Tipsy. We have a drunken nappy Winston, which actually are the two most dangerous motherfuckers that I
In
know.
the world?
Sober and clean Tipsy is a beast. Dirty Winston,
It's fierce.
Shop.
All right,
Just
but
workshop.
you know, I feel like, you know, especially for the fact that we already been kicking it before this. This interview has been very probably entertaining.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah.
But I want you guys to actually talk a bit about what the fuck is going on. So, as far as, you know, me and you are going to have to do it again,
Yeah.
where we really talk history.
Yep.
Because this ain't the spot for it, clearly. But as for right now, what the fuck is going on? You guys are doing the 2-on-2 battle, but I want to know what the hell you guys got going on, because you guys got the 30 season. That thing's been something in the works. I want to know what's happening with that, and I want to know what's going on as far as Scot free, because you were doing like the free verses and stuff. I can't even lie. You kind of motivated me to get back into doing the free verses and shit just for social media.
Yeah.
Because I was at a point where I was like, nothing's worth nothing unless you're putting it towards something. And you kind of got me on a tip back where I'm like, no, it's important to keep your social media activated.
And like, well, even the way you talked about that, the new Facebook is like, it's kind of the wild west of what YouTube was. The way we talked
Yeah.
about that, right? So like, it still has that dying aspects of that. So I wanted to see if I posted that video on YouTube, I would have got 300 plays.
Exactly.
But I posted it on Facebook and it turned into 5,000 plays. So it's, and I'm like, okay, even those numbers alone allow people to think a little bit differently about your
Yep.
product, right? No
Yep.
one wants to be a view under 1,000.
Yep.
Like, it's a weird thing when you click on it. You're
No,
like,
it's
oh,
facts.
unless it's brand new, 10 minutes ago that it dropped, you know? Like, so I was like, all right, man, I have these verses. They aren't going anywhere. They're not useful to me to keep in a notebook or to have in my brain stored somewhere taking up space.
So you might as well do
So I'm
something
like,
with it.
Fuck it, I'll just jump on a beat if it works. And I do a lot of my writing at home. I don't have a rhyme book. I don't write rhymes on paper.
I kind of stopped doing that too.
have
But
a-
do you know what? I think there's a lot of value to it. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, and that's a whole nother discussion
Yep,
that we'll get
it
into,
is.
right? But like, so I do a lot of my writing at work where I'll just rinse a beat all day and end up with a couple of patterns that I like and a couple of punchlines
Yep.
that I like, and then it snowballs from there.
Yep.
And then when I end up with it, I'm like, well, what's this good for? Like, if it wasn't developed with an idea in mind, it was developed out of me not being able to not rap.
Well, see, do you know what my problem is? The opposite, but it's the same kind of thing as to where I agree. Songs are about making songs nowadays.
I don't.
When I
plan
want to
them out
bar
anymore.
you to death, it's just about barring you to death. It's not a song. Barring you to death is not a song. Unless you get to a certain level of MC where people respect being barred to death.
Well, then,
you know what I
no,
mean?
it's mixtape rap.
No, exactly. And that's why I agree with you. So
wanna rap
once
on
I
the
seen what
hottest
you were
video-
doing,
And
that's why
I was
battle
like, you
rap.
know what?
Like, it's the same
Because
thing.
I had spent time in this period of time trying to make music and songs. To where you shun everything else. You're like, no, I'm not just trying to do bar rap and stuff. But I learned, I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I will always love just barring out.
It's
So
there's a
always
certain-
just have a stolen beat you want to rock to. Always keep something in the
Barring
works
out is
and
like-
keep doing your other shit.
barring out is like batting practice.
Yeah.
All you want to do is crush those home runs. Ding!
Yeah.
Fucking ding!
And when we finish
you
this
know,
interview,
like-
I'll show
but-
you the new one I just dropped, and I want to see how many times I can make your face make a movement.
All right, cool. That's
All right.
fair. But like, and so that's what that shit is worth.
Exactly.
Like, acknowledge it as training for what it is, so that you're able to step into a song and have some wordplay where there's a punch that works.
Yep.
Like where you can build like, yes, I've caught your attention, I've done simple, but here's a weird double entendre, triple layered punch that if you're gonna catch it, you're gonna know it whether you catch it or not. But there's a secondary meaning to it, and when that shit lands, you're like, whoo, you still
Yep.
have those people hanging on. When Drake started showing up at battle rap events and knowing that we knew he was paying
Drake
attention.
was so nice back in the day,
Now,
though. Can we
see,
just remember Drake?
there
When
was a
he
time-
lyrically...
He went from
was
being a
so
pop star to
sharp.
representing a culture that he wasn't part of. When I heard a Drake punchline, I'm like, that was for the battlers. That was because he's friends with Hollow and Pat. He showed up and slapped hands with Gannick and Math and all these guys that you end up politicking with and you do shows with or pitch a little money to and blah, blah, blah. Like, these guys helped press the culture more than they realize because they're influencing the influencers.
Do you know what it is to me? It's with Drake, it's when the Pusha thing happened. That's when he fully separated himself. He's been playing the middle ground up until then, but if you listen to Scorpion is nothing in the same regards as to what Drake beefing with Meek Mill was like. Like, Drake still had to prove a lyricism to him and stuff. When you go to Scorpion, Drake fully let go of trying to be respected on any rapper's list, whether it be for allegations of his kid, whether it be for allegations of who wrote it, anything. And Drake finally made an album that was just pointed towards pulp culture.
Yeah.
That's what Scorpion is.
So
To
you're
me, my
saying
least
that-
favorite Drake album. But to
So-
a lot of people, it's their favorite.
Well, that's the way it should be.
Drake,
Because the way that we talked about ourselves, if we are this 8% of lyricists that really exist, then yep, the 92% bought that album.
Yep.
And us 8 that didn't. You
Yep.
know, like, and that's fine. And we talked about that, like with Calvin, there's enough people that have been that, even the palpability of the Lunchroom Poets and Stitch and everything that's on the cusp.
Yep.
Those guys all kind of fall into. I lost my point.
No, it's the same thing, though. I get what you're saying.
So let's wrap this at 7 o'clock. I gotta go to I got a battle
All right.
coming up.
We
I
all
got a
roll
fucking
the battle.
I got
But
battle
yo,
in a couple
let the
hours
people
still.
know how to find you guys on social media, first off, and second off, let them know when the 30 season's coming and all that good stuff.
Yo, White Bag album, Black Bag album will be out shortly.
Like
it's
they're
finished.
they're,
We just gotta
they're
do
done. We want to decide how we want to release it. Whether it's going to be on a social media platform or a downloadable platform, or whether I want to do like custom USB sticks. Because one of the best things that I've always done is
all of it. Just find a way to make it all cooperate.
No, because you
Cooperate.
want to be able to get it at one spot so that you know how.
and one of the things I love.
Not always important.
One of the things
Just
I
as
love
long
is
as
our
everyone
personability.
can
We've
access
always
it.
been backpack dudes though. It's like every time we do a show, people ask, they're like, "Yo, how do we get your shit?" Pull up to the shows. We'll pop the trunk, give you a bunch of music and some merch.
But
Like,
at the end of the
you gotta have the
day, when
interaction
you're doing
of it,
other
but-
people's shows, you're bringing a lot of money other people's way by putting your product out
Not
there.
even because we
you
show
gotta
up,
do it
we don't even have to
yourselves.
sell tickets, and then we walk out with 150 fans.
Yeah, but it could go on the other end too.
Like I said, my music can be free for the rest of my life. I want to get paid for my performances.
That's fair.
I want you to want me in the building, and I want to know what it's worth for you to want me in the building. Knowing
And we
that I
respect-
can walk in with a handful of people that's going to make your nut tonight.
We respect that heavily, but at the end of the day, what we need to know then is how can the people contact you,
Oh, I'm Scotty.
follow you guys
I'm Scotty
to get the
Freezerbag
free
on-
content.
I'm Scotty
whether
Freezerbag on
whatever it may be.
Scotty Freezerbag on everything.
Almost High 419, Tipsy H2.0 on Instagram. Then you know my name. My real name, my government name.
It's
Go find
upper
me on
class white trash. Tipsy Russell in the place to be. Scotty Free. You know what it is. Just win over here with us too. You know what I'm saying?
November 2nd, 325. November 2nd is today. 325 Queen Street East Basso Lounge. Scot Free versus Ted and Young NASA. It's Judgment Day 3, King of the Dot, GZTO. There's a stack card. It's going to be a crazy night.
Let's go.
Basso's
It's a
beautiful
fucking
bar.
Bell City
Basso's a
extravaganza
beautiful
in
bar.
this thing.
Come out,
Bow
man.
tie.
Come out to Moss Park and come watch us
Big up
catch
to
some
Maloney,
bodies.
man.
Hey!
Yo, just said so.
I
Just
come.
because Just said so. Big up to Maloney because, like, even when Just is on the down and outs, Maloney bigs up Just.
I love you,
Yo,
bro.
yo,
Battle starts at 15.
Love you, bro. All right, we got to roll up out of here. Breaking Records
Yeah,
Radio.
sure.
You know what it is. We got Bell City
Bum,
in the
bum,
place
bum.
to be. Upper class white trash.
UCWT. I'm talking
Hey,
UCWT.
Isaac Russell, Scotty Freezerbag, Workshop, Regime, Breaking Records Radio, and we out.